Supportive fans are one of the perks of being a musician, but some take their devotion too far. From a severed body part as a gift to a creepy bathroom break-in, these diehards definitely crossed the line. For decades, Dolly Parton has had legions of fans who adore her music and easygoing personality. However, Parton revealed that one supporter went way too far in the 70s after her track Jolene skyrocketed her to mainstream celebrity. In a conversation with the Windy City Times in 2011, Parton discussed a freaky incident that stood out as the most unsettling fan encounter of her career. She said, "We came home one day and there was a baby in a box at our gate with a note in it. The note said, 'My name is Jolene. My mama has left me here and she wants you to have me.' Of course, we all freaked out."
That was the creepiest, weirdest thing.
Parton explained how she called the authorities immediately to come and collect the baby. What happened afterward remains a mystery to Parton, who didn't want to get involved in any potential police investigations, but she was still caught off guard by the entire event. She added, "There are some loony people in this world." Jared Leto can hardly say too much about eccentricity, given his reputation as a method actor who goes to extreme lengths to get into character. But even he was caught off guard by something a fan supposedly sent him. In 2013, Leto told XFM about the weirdest gift he ever received from a fan. He told the outlet, "Someone cut their ear off once and sent it to me. That was very strange. A whole ear. The Van Gogh move. The note just said, 'Are you listening? I never knew who it was. Who's missing their ear out there?'" Leto claimed he put the ear on a necklace and wore it, and also uploaded a photo of the purported ear in a now-deleted Instagram post. However, there were people who questioned the authenticity of this pic, pointing out that it looked more like a movie prop. So yeah, take this one with a grain of salt. At Rage Against the Machine concerts, it's common for people to mosh, headbang, and get rowdy.
The chemistry is something that everybody in any band should greatly treasure.
But guitarist Tom Morello couldn't stop laughing at one fan's eccentric behavior at a past gig. While speaking to Rolling Stone, Morello recalled a 1996 concert that took place in Moscow, Russia. He explained that at their shows, fans would often climb up on stage to rock out before being escorted back down. However, there was one concertgoer who took the band's song Bulls on Parade too literally. Morello said, "One young man was wearing cowboy boots, super tight white underpants, and nothing else. And he proceeded to charge back and forth on the stage with his fingers like bull horns." Watching it all unfold was hilarious to Morello, who found himself completely caught up in the strange moment. It's not unusual for fans to try and meet their heroes at concerts, but one fan at an Alice Cooper show took a very weird approach. While talking to Rolling Stone about his most bizarre fan encounter, Cooper discussed a Midwest gig in which he was told that his wife had collapsed backstage. The worried musician rushed to the back to find a woman, who wasn't his wife, receiving oxygen. What's even worse is that she greeted him as if she were his partner. This wasn't the strangest part of the incident, though, as she introduced herself as Amy Lee from the band Evanescence. But Cooper knew this wasn't Lee he was speaking to. From there, the woman asked to meet Johnny Depp. Cooper told her she should go to Depp's show because the actor wasn't there. He told Rolling Stone, "Then she got up and walked away. And I had to go on stage that night knowing I wasn't the most bizarre person in the building. I sometimes wake up at 3 in the morning thinking, what was that?"
You have to remember, my audience is the lunatic fringe.
It's safe to say that Brendon Urie was Panic at the Disco. While other musicians played in the band, it was Urie's distinct voice and musicianship that made the outfit stand out. One of the group's most famous songs was Death of a Bachelor, which is the title track off the 2016 album of the same name. It also became a popular number at concerts, as Urie would embark on a death walk down the stage, where he would personally interact with fans. Yet a few people crossed the line of acceptable interaction. It got to the point that the band's tour manager posted a message on X, warning concert attendees that Urie would stop doing the death walk if they proceeded to be creepy toward the musician. Some of the reported behavior included people licking and kissing Urie. The musician himself addressed the incidents during a Twitch stream, asking his fans to respect personal boundaries and not be weird. He said,
"I don't know, it kind of weirds me out. I'm not very comfortable with that, with you guys like kissing without my permission."
The Jonas Brothers had tons of fans in their 2000s heyday. Even when the brothers went their separate ways, they remained popular in their own right. Joe Jonas, for example, continued to perform and attract large audiences as a solo musician. In 2024, Jonas appeared on Sirius XM BPM to talk about his latest music and career. The musician explained how he experienced a number of wild encounters with fans in the past, but there's one event that took place in Chile that stuck with him. He said, I walked into my hotel room and the curtain moved. I sat on the couch. It had been a long travel day. I was like, maybe it's air conditioning. As it turns out, it wasn't air conditioning at all, but a fan who had been hiding behind the curtain and waiting for his arrival. She dashed towards Jonas, but before she could get too close to him, Jonas's security guard removed her from the room. Sometimes strange encounters musicians have with their fans could lead to danger. Take Sam Smith's experience as a classic example. While appearing on the Drew Barrymore show, the singer recalled a bizarre moment that happened outside a concert venue. It was there that a fan handed them a saucepan with an envelope inside it, and inside the envelope was a cell phone. Smith said,
And then on a letter, it just said, meet me in the library tomorrow.
Barrymore asked Smith if they went to the library to meet the fan the next day. Smith said no, but that they were still curious to know what awaited them at the library. In hindsight, Smith made the right decision to not meet up with a stranger, because who knows what could have happened to them afterward. There are numerous tales of Slipknot's fan base, affectionately known as the Maggots, proving their undying devotion to the band in unconventional ways. But there's one incident that will turn almost anyone's stomach. It's a well-documented story of how Slipknot used to carry around a dead bird in a jar in their early years. According to the band, they would open the jar to experience the pungent scent, get into the mindset for a chaotic performance, and throw up in the process. It was all part of a warped pre-show ritual. But as Slipknot's Sid Wilson told Spin, the band's fans decided to take things even further on one particular occasion. Wilson said, "They were saying, 'Let us smell it.' So we put the jar down there, and they start pulling out this stuff and eating it. I think it was more disturbing for us. The kids were sicker than we were." Selena Gomez has been in the limelight from an early age, though that didn't stop her from having uncomfortable experiences with fans before she was even an adult. In fact, in a 2009 interview with Dose, the then-teenage Gomez discussed an incident that was both weird and humorous to her. Gomez explained how she and a friend went to an empty movie theater one day. All of a sudden, a young child ran into the theater and told her that he needed to give her something from his brother. The boy attempted to kiss her, but Gomez avoided his advances. When Gomez asked him why he tried to do that, the child responded that he was just a fan. Gomez said, "That was probably the weirdest experience. It was sweet because he was only 11, but I was like, well, okay, you're very, very forward for an 11-year-old.
One of the best things about tour is being able to meet my fans.
It's normal that fans try to imitate the looks of their favorite musicians. Heck, Nelly had a whole generation wearing Band-Aids on their faces as a fashion statement. Yet a line needs to be drawn in the sand at some point. It's okay to dress up like someone, but to intentionally injure yourself to be like them might be pushing it. This is what happened to British singer Jessie J in 2012. In the year prior, Jessie broke her foot and had it in a cast, but a female fan didn't just sympathize with the musician's injury, she replicated it. According to The Sun, a teenage fan broke her own foot to mimic the same injury suffered by Jessie, then sent a photo to the singer to show how far they were willing to go to be like Jessie. Reportedly, this wasn't the only disturbing behavior that the fan engaged in. A source close to Jessie admitted that the singer was worried for her own safety after receiving messages from an obsessive fan. The unnamed person said, "Jessie's a really sensitive and kind girl who loves keeping in touch with her fans, but this incident was just too much for her, and she ended up getting really frightened and upset." Steve Aoki understands how to turn his shows into memorable events. Apart from pumping the infectious tunes to the delight of the crowd, the DJ is well known for the art of caking, where he chucks treats into the faces of his fans as part of the celebrations.
I want you to leave knowing that you saw a Steve Aoki show. So that's why I try to do different, unique things like I cake people.
Despite his close connection to his fan base, Aoki isn't immune to bizarre encounters. While this story doesn't involve something creepy or unsettling, it's definitely one of the oddest. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Aoki recounted a fan moment he may have never planned for. He told the outlet, "In 2012, on the Dead Meat Tour, there was a fan at one of my shows who climbed up on the roof and hung upside down just to get close enough to give me a high five in my DJ booth that was 20 feet above the ground. Hopefully, the person managed to climb down safely and without further incident." At Diddy's 2025 trial, Kid Cudi claimed that in 2011, Diddy broke into his house, unwrapped his Christmas presents, and locked his dog in the bathroom.
"This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me."
So when a fan broke into Cudi's home in 2025 and the internet laughed about it, it's no surprise he didn't see the humor. After all, it wasn't the first time someone violated the sanctity of Cudi's home. In now-deleted X posts, Cudi claimed that a 34-year-old man had been stalking him for years in an attempt to collaborate with him. This culminated with the man breaking into Cudi's Los Angeles home, going through his personal belongings, eating his food, and using his shower and bathroom. The man was eventually arrested by the police and charged. Cudi wrote, "There is nothing funny about this. My privacy was violated, and now I have to protect myself. I don't feel safe now.